Okay, this is just Roblox back in another video, and we're in a team battle. I don't know where my teammate is right now. And we're gonna do the same thing I did in part 2 of playing WarCommand. So in this video, I'm playing WarCommand on Roblox. I made one video where I just played the game, and then I made a part 2, because originally I was making a tutorial. But then something surprising really happened that I feel like everybody who would play this game would want to know. So while I'm going ahead and starting, I'll go ahead and explain to you guys what I've just done. So I clicked on the HQ. Every team starts with an HQ. And then I built one builder. You'll notice that I didn't build 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 because builders are very expensive at this point in the game. Even though it says 30, I only have 190. So the reason I only build one builder is it gives me a financial advantage early game. You can see my teammate hasn't done anything yet, which is fairly fascinating. There's a couple people in this game who have trophies. There's a possibility I might lose this game, even though this is a tutorial game, because um, I'm up against other people who have more trophies. So just to explain to you guys what trophies are, is in this game, if you win a game, either a team game or a free-for-all, you get a trophy. You can see that on the enemy team is Sete. I don't know how to pronounce his Roblox name. He's got 10 trophies. I've got 7 trophies. My teammate has 0 trophies. So, this is just probably going to be me versus them. My teammate's probably not going to help me out very much. And so far, everything's going really, really good. So, like I talked about earlier, the reason I only build one builder is because it saves me money and gives me an early financial advantage. But I'm going to go scout out what the enemy team's building, what they're doing. Okay, so they're taking over lots of resources. And I want to be prepared for that. So, I'm going to build a military base that is a tank base, not near my own base. I'll explain to you why. In the last game, which originally was going to be the tutorial video, something strange had happened where we had taken a really early advantage over all the world's natural resources, built up great defenses, and then we're just decimated. Um, so what I'm going to do is a new strategy where you hide certain soldiers or builders throughout the world, so even if you get destroyed, then you don't lose. Um, and I don't know if this works in this game I'm in right now, because it's not free-for-all, but I think in free-for-all at least, if your whole entire base gets destroyed and you still have a builder, you can actually rebuild and like keep playing and stuff. But this is a team game, so that might not work. So, early lesson, remember, only build one builder in the beginning and then take over resources and build more builders. You always want to build a barracks, too. You want to take over the 2 resource mines near your base, build a barracks. Now that I have enough money for something like an artillery truck, I'm going to build an artillery truck, because so far as I'm aware, you can't build an artillery turret. And that was part of the problem last time. You can have these people take over this. This guy is going to build a generator here in a second. And it looks like my teammate finally figured out how to play the game, which is good because he can distract the enemy team. I want to build another refinery too. So, when you play this game, you want to take over these checkpoints because they give you money as well. So that's what I'm having my early military do. And I'm going to go ahead and hide this artillery truck, or just put it like right there, so that it stops enemies from attacking on the ground. And this is a very new strategy that I realized was part of my failure in the last video. If you want to check out the last video, it would be called playing WarCommand on Roblox Part 2, something around those lines. And I said I'm going to build a generator now. And how I had lost that game was very stunning. Oh, We might already be about to lose. Does this dude already have a Voltcopter? No, it's just helicopters. Okay, I gotta build builders because my teammate isn't putting up a good defense. Need to go like right here and build like an air turret. Wall. And basically how I had lost is the enemy team had gone all research early on, and that's the next thing I'm going to suggest is building lots of research. Is there a builder here? Good, yeah, let's put up like an air turret, like a ray. You want to put your air turrets next to your buildings and everywhere you possibly can. And if you're wondering why I'm suddenly building air turrets, some strategies that you have to deploy and you have to do will be per game. And this game, the enemy team chose to rush helicopters. So I'm gonna fastly put up a tremendous amount of air defenses in the meantime. I've done a pretty good job of setting up these artilleries and dudes to take these 2 points. But now what the issue is going to be is anti-air. So I'm going to build my tech lab right here. I would suggest you build it next to your base. And I'm going to try and research better helicopters and better ground defenses. You can see here is the missile truck. The missile truck is an anti-air defense by default. And now I'm going to probably build more generators, even though it seems like it's a bad idea at this point. Generators are much like the money mines called refineries that you can build. And you can build 6 generators every game. So I'm going to be building these. I'm building a runway to counter red team. Oh, one of the people left the game. Who's left? This blue dude. Well, we're lucky. We're lucky that red team left the game. Because if red team didn't leave the game, he probably would have invaded and destroyed yellow team. Because he's not. Yellow team is on my team. Because this is a team match 2v2. And he's not really going so quickly with what's going on. As you can see, I created a research facility here. And I'm gonna research rocket artillery. And then probably research the Voltcopter. Something is shooting at something. He's shooting at something. Okay. So if you learned anything from this tutorial, remember in about the first minute of the game, you want to build one builder and then build both your money generators and build a barracks, because it's the fastest way to get to having a military no matter what. But you got to remember some strategies, like what I did here with these anti-air guns, are per game, and I was preparing for the enemy to attempt a large air invasion until red team left. As you can see, there's only 3 of us in the game. And so red team is gone. He has left the game. Put a few more air turrets in my base. I also heavily suggest you build lots of air turrets in your main base. Now what you'll see me doing is sort of spreading out and building lots of little bases, which I don't usually do. I actually usually do like central, very central production of everything. And that was a lesson we took from the last game that had happened, is the enemy team essentially had taken an advantage both technologically, but also they had overwhelmed and destroyed everything. But because I didn't lose, like if you watch the last video that I did, because I didn't lose, I could have like came back and been irritating by building more military and really stretching out the game. But because I didn't have builders spread out, as a result, I lost. So now what I'm doing is building lots of different bases that each have a builder, because that will benefit me in the long run by having multiple little bases. So this helicopter Just gonna move up into here. This guy's building this. So, another thing that you want to learn from this tutorial is you want to build lots of little tiny bases, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in 1 sec. I'm building a few more generators, and that's also what I'm going to start doing is spreading out my generators and buildings instead of having them all in one location, which might be beneficial or it might be useless. So we're getting close to the end game actually already in this game. You can see blue team's getting ready to build like a large military and probably attack. While I'm building lots, and I mean like lots of anti-air defenses. Probably should build a few ground defenses. But as you can see, here's a little base that I'm building. Here's a little base that's built. And I'm going to go ahead and put lots of anti-air defenses right on top of it and lots of ground defenses. And the great thing about building these little bases is that they let you then build more builders up closer to what you're doing. And the little bases that I had built are called HQs. And so next we're going to return to our research. We've got everything pretty much researched in the game. And we're going to get ready for the final battle against blue team because the really high level dude left the game really early on. And how I'm going to approach the battle against blue team is by building tons of production after building tons and tons of defenses. Because that's another thing that I learned in the last game as well, is that there weren't enough defenses to slow down such an advanced military in this game. So as you can see, I basically built a whole entire town right here. The whole entire town has everything from really, really sophisticated anti-air to crap loads of ground turrets, like more ground turrets than I've probably ever built in this game ever. Just hundreds of them. Just non-stop, just constantly making ground turrets. Blue team's getting ready to attack, and I'm doing the same thing right here. Probably need a few more builders down there to help. I don't think that my ally is going to be very helpful in this whole entire battle because I don't even think he really has a military. You can see blue team's getting ready to move up and basically destroy everything. So I'm going to go ahead and put some passive barriers in, put a crap load of air turrets, just like never stop building air turrets is the lesson. And I'm going to put a ton, like more than usual, ground turrets, like more ground turrets than I've probably ever built in this game, ever, to put up some sort of defense. And I'm going to put more anti-air guns and turrets down there later on. I'm just trying to get builders to there. So now back to the main base. I'm going to attempt to defeat the enemy with two strategies. I'm going to build a bunch of tanks, and I'm going to build a bunch of air. So then I will have a bunch of anti-air and artillery tanks, and I will have a bunch of helicopters, which should give me like dual protection. Yellow team is slowly killing what's left of red team's units. So you can see this is one of the little bases, like an example of a little base that I've built so far. It gives me an advantage if my main base gets destroyed. And you especially want to build these if you're playing free-for-all mode, because in free-for-all mode, I think even if your main base gets destroyed, you don't lose until the whole entire game. Oh, here it comes. blue team is attacking. And I'm going to build some artillery trucks right here. Move and just leave this artillery tank right there. Okay, I'm going to have all these builders build garages right here. Okay, and as you can see, the final battle is starting to begin. I'm going to build a couple artillery tanks, a couple anti-air tanks, and I'm going to try and get all my builders together to build runways to start getting helicopters out to fight this person. Spread out, builders, don't be stupid. As you can see, so far, the mixture of things like air turrets and ground turrets is really helping. Build some more. Let's keep doing artillery tanks because I've got plenty of resources to do that, fight that battle. Now I need to focus on the defenses over here. It's a good thing I built so many like different factories around because it actually did sort of help a little bit to do that sort of diversity in production. Now I'm just going to build anti-air defenses just every which way because I don't want to lose this because of an air attack. You can never have enough builders. Look at how many builders I built right here. These builders need to go over here to build anti-air. These guys probably don't need to build any more anti-air, but whatever. Build the stuff anyways. So that it's just ridiculous. It's gotta be like crazy, out of control defenses. Okay, I don't know what blue team's doing, if he's preparing to attack. But my builders successfully survived because I built so many defenses. And now I'm starting to push back on his military. Got lots of anti-air defenses. Let's build some more air defenses. And let's build some more turrets. Let's just have it be out of control. That's what it needs to be. Good, good, good. Apparently my teammate is still in the game, like actively. He's not really helping out a whole lot. But next I'm going to build some generators because I don't think I have as many as I should have. I mean, not enough. Oh. What are these builders that are all clustered here doing? There we go. I've officially pushed the enemy team out of this territory. took actually a lot of hard work to get that done. Because he is also using the best technology in the game to fight against me. But my military has now moved up. I think that there's an anti-air gun truck there. Oh, there's multiple anti-air gun trucks. Push up on that helicopter, dude. You just always want to be making some sort of anti-air system. And see, I'm slowly moving up on the enemy. Okay, what? Got some builders left. Just because you feel like you've won doesn't mean there isn't going to be like suddenly a turnaround. So I'm gonna... Oh, and he left the game. He rage quit. So we officially won the game. I'm going to tell you guys how we won the game and why. So, early game, our choice to only build one builder, build 2 power plants, or refineries is what they called in the game, and build a barracks gave us an early military advantage if we needed it, but we didn't end up needing it this game because the enemy team attacked with airplanes by building sort of different little bases spread out with ridiculous amount of defenses. But especially you can see here I have an artillery truck. I built these artillery trucks and strategically placed them by everything I took over. So when the enemy actually started attacking, they would get attacked by artillery, which is what we learned from the last video. And I also built tremendous amounts of these rocket artillery trucks, which both shoot artillery, like on the ground, at a far distance, but also they shoot down helicopters. And I had started to sort of position these like throughout, just on the ground, anywhere that it was needed, just like with the artillery trucks. And blue team forfeit after he saw how much defenses he was going to have to break through, both in physical units like artillery trucks and air defenses and ground defenses. Blue team could have done it. He could have built helicopters and stuff and taken in the win, but he did not. I built helicopters. As you can see, I still have some helicopters back there, and I was about to turn the game. Now, it still would have been a really long game if blue team like actually tried, but he didn't. But the possibility of you winning if you played like how I just played is a lot higher than a joke I've been telling the whole time. Is sometimes, for some reason, people build like 30 builders at the very beginning of the game. And they use up all their money building builders so that they can't really do... Ooh, that dude has 74 trophies. That was a little too much, a little ridiculous. That was. So we'll see if we can get a game where someone is doing something you shouldn't do at the beginning of the game. So I've just joined another game. Remember, the name of this video is going to be WarCommand Roblox tutorial or something along those lines. I decided to not make my previous video that I made before this, the tutorial, because the enemy team did something really unsuspected or unexpected. And then, right, they turned around the game and won. And I'll talk a little bit about the last video. It would be called Playing War Command Episode 2 or Part 2 of Playing War Command. And in that video, I built one builder and I took over all the resources next to me. And quickly built a military and quickly had defeated blue team basically and took over all the resources, and he came back and built a research facility and built voltcopters, which is the best type of helicopter you can build in the game, and artillery tanks, and he knew that he was capable of using artillery tanks to destroy ground defenses. So for example, this turret that I can build cannot shoot at artillery. Artillery is too far away for it to shoot at. And that's essentially how he won. basically. And it really opened my eyes that you need to use units as much as buildings. Um, there is no artillery building in this game. So the only artillery you can make are artillery tanks. Um, so as you can see, we've got a pretty good early game setup. Our enemies are distracted going after resources, as you can see. I think that there's already a soldier in a place where we don't want there necessarily to be a soldier. And we already have a military advantage. No, that's not a soldier, that's a builder. Because we can afford to build at least some sort of a military. And I'm going to go ahead and start putting refineries out there. So you can see I've already got some soldiers made right here. I'm going to go ahead and move up and take over these points. Oh, he sent a bunch of builders there. He did. And he built a barracks. That's not necessarily a good sign. This guy's going to build, I think the ultimate move would be to build a barracks right there, right now. I see he's building turrets. And so you'd see, like, what my teammate is doing is what you don't want to do. Because he's not really helping the battle much right now. He might help later if he acquires, like, large amounts of money to help fight. But for the most part, him not being there might result in the enemy team attacking me from behind. As you can see, the enemy team is already sending a soldier up to challenge the soldiers that are there, but there's too many, and they killed him. Where's the other team at? Okay. This barracks built a soldier. That's exactly what we don't ever want to stop doing. Is building soldiers. Now, there's a financial pinch, like really badly. The enemy team and me are deploying a very similar strategy. I built a barracks right here and set up sort of like a gathered military force. And I'm gonna build barriers that slow him down. But I have to spread out and take over the middle before he takes over the middle. So I'm gonna take some soldiers out that way. You can see I'm using the same strategy as before. And you can see that the enemy team is using a similar strategy as well. They are put all these soldiers like right in there so they attack. Yeah, good. Move faster, go take over that thing in the middle while he's not paying attention. I want to build a builder, and I want to attempt to make a generator, if that is possible at all. I want to build walls in front of soldiers, because I'm sort of wondering scientifically if that actually makes a difference at all. To have a wall in front of the soldiers in this game. Okay, so you can see it's pretty tied up right now, but next what I'm going to do is I'm going to build my generator, which will start generating more income. And I've just taken over this middle point, which is going to generate more income. And to my own surprise, my teammate is actually doing really well, which means we might not get totally destroyed, which is a really good sign. I'm going to put air turrets in here because that's the next thing he's going to do, is he's going to send helicopters up here to attack me. Guaranteed. Nope, builder, you're going to be building lots of refineries so my teammate doesn't steal all my money. And so what I'm going to do to take an early advantage is I am going to build helicopters, and I'm going to research the most expensive helicopter as well. This guy isn't moving up, he's just holding his position. He doesn't have any anti-air... Oh, yeah, he does. He built an anti-air tank. And the conflict becomes more complex as we go. Build a tank, making factory, and continue to build just like air turrets everywhere. I am fairly concerned about blue team winning this. Because I really don't want blue team to win this. And you can see he has really created a lot of soldiers up there and defenses. And I need to get the same sort of pressure put down right back at him. Otherwise, I'm not going to survive this. I'm going to build a bunch of more builders. I'm finally going to build a really powerful helicopter. But one really powerful helicopter is not going to overwhelm what he's done here, where he's built missile artilleries. Oh, did that not buy that? There we go. So I'm going to build some artillery. Two, if I can afford to research rocket artillery, I am going to. And I'm going to send my builders out into the world and build more bases and stuff. Look at how big of a base he built there. What's he going to build next? He's got generators. I think an air base. But I decided to opt for building like a really complex defense system, which I think was probably a good idea. 2 or 3 turrets per building, air defense wise, and just tons of ground defense turrets and stuff. Here is a artillery tank. Build one of these anti-air tanks and an artillery tank. Okay, and the best helicopter is now done. And what I'm going to do is when there's enough money, I'm going to build generators. Because that's what needs to happen. Right now you can see that there's sort of a standstill, sort of a tie has built up right here between me and him. Because I have air defenses and I have things like artillery tanks. And I have things like ground soldiers here to protect. Backup helicopter. I don't want the helicopter to get shot. Because it will get shot. These soldiers are sort of just like rogue units by this point. Build like another wall. And build an air turret. A turret. An air turret. An air turret. There's just so many turrets right here. Now. So this is what we learned from the last game. That we needed to have things like tanks that were anti-air. Oh god, red team's attacking yellow team. But will he withstand the attack? Probably. Okay, we need more money now so that we can build more helicopters, because I think that that's going to be the key to this now sort of building issue. Build a bunch of turrets. Turret. Air turret for some reason on accident. Turret. Where's my rogue builder? Okay, great. You can build turret. Turret. Air turret. Is this a builder? Oh, it is. Go over and steal these resources from my ally. Let's go back and make garages for tanks. And he's continuing to try and put pressure down on this point, which is not good. Need to build another expensive helicopter and build more generators. Never have enough of them. He's not going to take this area over. Guaranteed now. Gonna build 2 anti-plane guns. I accidentally built a tank, apparently. That's right. And need to build an R. Why'd these tanks move up like that? Back it up. Job is to protect that one spot, and that's it. And this guy built an anti-air defense, some ground defenses there. Red team has a lot of helicopters. That concerns me. He's probably going to take over my ally using that sort of a strategy. Just can make up a couple builders and build a huge anti-air defense. If I can help it. This is true too. Okay. Things are starting to sort of look up and not be so bad here. Gotta build as many more runways as I possibly can. I gotta build more generators. The enemy team currently doesn't really stand a chance. He keeps building like really weak units and attacking with them. I'm about to take over the center of the game by building just 1,000,000 air turrets and 1,000,000 builders. Better come up with it. Then I'm gonna build a wall here. Looks like red team's getting ready to attack yellow team, but he's got a lot of stuff, except for he doesn't have any anti-air guns. So yellow team is about to learn the hard way what happens if you don't have just billions of anti-air guns. Red team's army is getting ready to move in on him, and blue team is continuing to try and move in on me, but I've put in just the right amount of resources to hold this point together. Yellow team's military just moved over here. It does look like the enemy team is getting ready to attack this. Here they come. They're coming in with helicopters. They're not very happy that we're here. We're holding it together over there. But the enemy team is not going to take over this area. There is just too many anti-air guns. He's sending a lot of those helicopters. They're just ripping through anti-air guns. You can never, ever have enough anti-air guns. Okay, now he's bringing in artillery. This one soldier is going to sacrifice himself for the cause while I resolve this by building a garage over here. For some reason, one of my tanks just committed tank suicide. That's okay, it doesn't bother me. And looks like yellow team backed me up. You can see right there where he backed me up. I don't want to build a hangar. I want to build garages. Okay. One of these builders needs to go repair that if they're capable of repairing that. Okay, it's time to prepare to attack from the sky, which is what's going to win this game in my opinion. So I'm starting to build lots of helicopters, generators, and defenses. Only 6 allowed. This guy has taken over that front edge. Oh, yellow's gonna go in and attack him. That's actually a good thing. Artillery tank, artillery tank. Build air turrets. Just do it. Here comes red team. Really astonishing. Attack. They attacked both at the same time. Back it up, helicopters. Have this guy fight that battle. As you can see, this has been a really long game because everybody knows what they're doing. I'm going to build another base right here. Now I've got a couple of these around. I've got a base over there, a base here. I'm getting ready to try to take on blue team. I felt like I needed to take it from the air. I probably could take him on from the air, but I think that it might be safer to take him on from the ground with something like tanks. Anti-air turrets everywhere. There needs to be anti-air turrets. Make a few more helicopters. Next, they're going to try and push through this point right here with as much firepower as they can. I'm going to go ahead and make a bunch of anti-air guns. Yep, here he comes with it. He's trying to maneuver his way around it, but it didn't work because there were anti-air turrets in the right places. Yeah, see, he just got absolutely demolished right there. I'm going to go ahead and start rebuilding defenses because he has destroyed quite a bit of them. Is he already attacking again? They're attacking over there, but there's anti-air defenses over there. The game has sort of entered the quiet stalemate phase. I think that I'm getting ready to turn the battle. Save the builders so you don't have to rebuild them. Just trying to push in, but it's not working for him. I'm gonna build a few more anti-air tanks. If anything, he just cost me anti-air. That was pretty much it. Send this in to attack that base. Attack from the sky. And attack his defenses. There we go. Got plenty of helicopters to do this with. Build a turret. Get every inch. Got plenty of missile trucks that are like glitched here. As anti-air defenses. Now we're just stuck. The enemy team is attempting to bring more helicopters in to turn things around for himself. It's not going to work. There's an overwhelming amount of like anti-air defenses and ground defenses right at this single point. Yeah, I have dumped a tremendous amount of resources into making sure that that point is unpassable. Oh, Red's army died. That is actually sort of surprising. Oh, but my own teammate is running like a little baby. Go ahead and help him out. Build the most air turrets he's probably ever seen in his whole life. Okay. The game is still pretty much tied up. I was hoping to beat this person before the end of this video, but I might not. When this video reaches an hour, I might end it. Don't know how to respond to just like how much defenses everybody has. Everyone's sort of stuck. So I'm going to attempt to send some of these ground trucks through if I can get them to pass through here. Save the builders. Here he comes. He's attacking right when I'm attacking. He did that on purpose. So that he wouldn't have to fight all of that. Send another wave. Don't accidentally send the builders. Have these builders. I think that the defenses are pretty maxed out, but just in case, let's like absolutely be sure and have too much of everything to prevent from being like absolutely destroyed. Got some more helicopters here. We're going to attack this anti-air point he created. That's what I was worried that he would do. I'm going to attack him from more than one side is how I'm going to resolve this issue. Artillery tanks are the ultimate. Leave those missile tanks in position. He's never going to get past that point. I built so many turrets. There's anti-air trucks, there's turrets, there's helicopters. He sees it. He does see it. He sees just that one tank there. And he knows. Is this builder like stuck or something? Lots of anti-air, lots of anti-ground. Building the barracks. And these two trucks got stuck. Can't be stuck. The developer of this game needs to make vehicles not be able to bump into each other. It's definitely a problem. He's getting ready to attack again, but little does he know that I definitely built a lot more of everything. There's literally no way someone is going to get through this point without a lot of effort. This area where I'm at right now in this video is probably the weakest point, but I built a lot of turrets here as well, so I wouldn't see in the future them potentially passing through here at all as an option. No one has left the game. This game has been so long. I've decided to extend the video for 30 minutes, but that's as far as it's gonna go. This is crazy how long this match was. I just joined this match to show you guys something not to do, and at the beginning of this video my teammate wasn't quite doing what he was supposed to do. Look at all the turrets. Where are the okay, so there's some anti-airs here. Okay, good. And there's anti-air over there. It is sort of a good idea. Let's see if we can get far out and go around wherever that tank's going. Let it sort of be a distraction. He didn't even defend that part. What an idiot. Didn't I make more helicopters? Yeah. There just should always be helicopters over there. He's gonna try and attack to stop it. But I'm gonna put a stop to that pretty quickly. Now we're gonna go up from behind him. That's gonna be very unpleasant for him. Turrets. Gotta build lots of every type of turret. Attack. Not quite worried. He built like the ultimate helicopter fleet. As sort of a way to counter that. He's not going to get through this point with that fleet. There's just too much of everything right here. And he's pretty upset about what happened. Now I'm going to go for production because this game has reached almost a standstill like position in gameplay that just isn't okay. Someone has to win at a certain point. You can see Yellow Team has a big army. I built some turrets for him. I'm actually going to send these builders back. Here he comes. Comes the Blue Team Air Force and Ground Force in an attempt to overwhelm just the tremendous amount of defenses that are right here. And it is not working for him. He is pulling back. I think I'm going to win, but just barely. I've got lots of anti-air defenses. I want to build turrets, like right here. Turret, 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 air defenses. He has to fight against so much to get through there. But I think that the enemy team might finally end up winning, just barely. Built these anti-air trucks. They're going to advance through that gap. And these builders are going to really quickly build turrets. He's trying to finish the game through pressure to defeat defenses. He's trying to kill builders now. Oh, there is an HQ right here that can build builders. Helicopters are coming to save a day. This is literally the end battle. This is probably gonna be the final fight for this point of the game. If I do not and cannot defend exactly right here, then I lose. Where is he attacking? He sent in missile trucks to attack the middle, but luckily I had built like a really elaborate defense structure there as well. He's not gonna get through this point. There's so many builders right here. Yeah, he's not gonna make it through there. The builders are gonna quickly build an air turret, build an air turret, build an air turret, build all the air turrets possible. Okay, these are air turrets, those are air turrets. Those helicopters are essentially air turrets. The only hope is if my teammate attacks. Where is turret? Need to make a bunch more of these little like hidden defenses. Sending in another force to fight. It's not gonna win that. I'm gonna start going for cheap helicopters a lot at once. These builders need to stay here. That's good. Build turret. Turret. Spread out and build stuff. Hope he's attacking already. Retreat builders. Actually, that's a great idea. Distract them builders. That was a funny and intelligent idea. These builders have built this. No. Yeah, they're just not. Build a couple more of those right here. Pull that together. We rebuilt this wall on purpose to help hold everything together. They built like artillery and stuff. It's impossible. I've created like an impossible to cross point for the enemy team now. Can we win in the next 20 minutes? Probably not. there's so much more. Okay. One of the enemy team people, I think, quit. They resigned. I think it was blue team. Resigned. Oh, thank God. I've been probably playing this one match of WarCommand on Roblox. I'm going to leave a link in the description of this video. And this video I'm in right now is actually a tutorial video. And I just was, in the first part of this video, I sort of showed you guys how to play. In this part of it, I just was playing through it. And this game was like way too well matched. Red team and blue team versus me and yellow. Created like a stalemate, but I was getting ready to turn the game. Whether or not blue team had left, me and yellow team were getting ready to win. You can see just how many defenses I put here. I've got anti-air trucks, I've got anti-air ground defenses. I did the same thing here, where I hid anti-air trucks and I built multiple bases and I have lots of dudes. But now, really, blue team shouldn't have abandoned his teammate because they still might have been able to win. Like if they built a huge air force together, but because they forfeited, this is probably the end game for red team. Whether yellow takes them out, or whether at a certain point I produce enough helicopters to do just that. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now, is building like a huge hangar complex. You can see red team is attempting to fight against yellow, but as soon as blue team left, it was sort of the end of the game for red team, because red team really needed blue team to watch his right side. This side, for if they're facing this way, it would be their right side. For us, it'd be our left. And yellow team has been doing, like, honestly, at the beginning of the game, I totally underestimated yellow's capability. He's got a huge military and everything, and that really saved it, so it didn't end up becoming, because one time one of my teammates had left and it ended up being a 1v2, and I still was winning, but how the 1v2 beat me is they had more money. So I had built too many voltcopters because they're really expensive to build, and that led to me losing because I ran out of money, so they were able to just tear through all my defenses. These defenses right here, I think this might be the biggest defensive structure ever built in this game. There's so many ground turrets and so many anti-air guns. Same with this, I have purposefully hidden like anti-air tanks everywhere so that if there's airplanes, nothing can happen. Okay, it's time to take home the win for the game. I have constructed the largest helicopter army probably ever in this video game. And we are going to go finish the game, finally. My helicopters are just like freaking everywhere. You can see he's trying to attack with tanks right there, but it's too late. The great helicopter invasion is beginning. My ally noticed and is trying to come with me. Get some more helicopters right here. And apparently a builder. Whatever, screw the builder. He vaporized my army, but now it's too late. Wave after wave is coming of just cheap helicopters. I hate it how like the air units get stuck. They might want to fix it. You see, he can't fight them all. There's too many helicopters. He's starting to run into like a serious issue. He's been overwhelmed by cheap helicopters. Okay, we took out that. Now we're gonna go in, spread out, take over this. Red team can't do anything anymore. I'm gonna build an even bigger cheap helicopter army because I think that that's the way to go. Bring in the win. We need to build hangars, I guess is what I'll build. I'll build them over here. There's probably not enough money to build a whole lot more hangars, but some helicopters that didn't make it to the battle zone. Red team is upset. Yellow team, I don't know what he's doing, if he's getting ready to mobilize his military. But we will see what happens. Can gather all the helicopters together over here. Okay. I can now pretty much make, as fast as I can make money, helicopters. Is exactly. Oh, he left. He rage quit. We won. This is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial video on how to play WarCommand on Roblox. If you want to check out the 2 other videos on WarCommand, there's going to be a video named WarCommand Gameplay Roblox 1 and 2. And then this video is going to be called WarCommand Tutorial and Gameplay. I'll see you guys in the next video.